What are we going to do in March? We're going to wait for the neighbors to get home, park their car, and then we'll start this again. Hello everybody, Hoosier Green Thumb coming at you today with a video about what to do in March. It's much overdue. I know we've already started the month and it's gotten over. Should have done this earlier. Got a little busy with some wood in the front yard. More than a little. 15 cubic meters, or about 530 cubic feet, was a hedgerow I cut with my neighbor, and now all the wood is around, so I've been splitting the wood and trying to get everything done, plus work has been crazy. Anyway, what are we going to do in March? As we shoot through some of the things that we need to do, it's going to be a long list with lots of cuts because I'm not going to be able to do this in one take. The first thing that you got to do is clean up your garden. It's just going through, tidying up some of the dead plants from last year, sweeping the paths, as well as cleaning and sharpening your tools. The next step is to prepare your beds. You can check the pH level of your soil. I don't do that very often. I think I only did it the first year I was here. I realized everything was pretty much in the normal range, and so I kind of left it. Every so often, especially if there are problems with the plants, that's where you should look at it. One thing I learned through a lot of greenhouse gardening is that different nutrients are picked up at different levels on the pH scale. You also want to add compost to the beds if you haven't already. This gives it some time to mix in, as you also want to loosen up the soil, kind of break it up, and get rid of any weeds. While you're doing that, you can also get rid of any snails you find along the way. The snails are going to be the killer of the little plants and the fruits as they come along throughout the year. The next thing you want to do is prune your trees. I've already done that with the apple tree, with the cherry and the plum trees. You don't prune them right now. That's more of a summertime. When everything I'm giving here, please, please, please check against everything for your local area. I am in northern Germany. It has a totally different grow season from Tennessee, where I grew up, Ohio when I went to high school, and where I lived with the rest of my family in Indiana before I came to Germany. I had to learn how to do everything differently. Tomatoes don't grow outside here. You have to grow them along the side of the house or in a greenhouse, or otherwise they won't really do anything. So everything is kind of keep it in mind for the local area. But prune your trees. The apple trees need to be pruned in winter. You can also do your bushes and other trees that should get pruned in winter. Prune winter trees. This is also the time that you can start messing around with your potted plants. You can get rid of the dead plants from what you planted in autumn, and they maybe stuck around if the winter was mild enough. Most of ours are dead, and this is the time you can already start to get rid of them, getting ready for the new ones. You might hold off on planting the new ones until the worst of the winter is over. Germany has a weird thing of coming up and everything's okay for a little bit, and then it goes way back down, and then you have ice, snow, cold temperatures, and then half the stuff dies, or all of the blossoms on your trees are killed. One other thing you might do for these plants, if you already have some plants, if they aren't hardened off already, you might start hardening them off. Hardening them off is bringing them outside into the cooler temperatures during the day, and then bringing them back into a more secured location for the evening. The ones that we have, a lot of the plants are ready to go outside, so we just put them in the greenhouse. They're still getting the hard temperatures, but if a frost comes, it protects them from that. If you are planning on planting roses, now is the time to do that. We bought a house with a pretty much fully equipped or featured flower bed, and she already took care of everything. Most of the roses that we have are already there. As you can see, the crocus are starting to come up, or they've been coming up for the last week, which is also one of my favorite parts. That's how you know that the winter grip is loosening up. Sowing plants indoors to be planted outdoors, the list is cauliflower, root celery, leeks, kohlrabi, New Zealand spinach, red beets, lettuce, tomatoes, and your cabbages, red cabbage, Savoy cabbage, and white cabbage. Seeds you can already sow outside. Again, check the package to make sure that for your region this is the correct time. It's not just a general thing for everybody. Some of these things are not quite ready here because, like I said, I know that the weather is going to act up. Some of it might go from March to April, but the seeds you can start to sow outside are broad beans, peas, sugar snaps, carrots, parsnips, radishes, arugula, lettuce, and onions. The stuff that you are able to directly plant outside, again, it's for your region. is cauliflower, garlic, kohlrabi, leeks, cabbages, lettuces, and onions. The fruit trees that you can plant at the moment are the currants and the gooseberries. You'll have to fight off scab with the apple trees and other fruit trees as it comes along, so you'll want to give them a spray once the buds are showing. Mine are still in winter mode, so I have a feeling this is going to be done much later. And the other thing that you want to get done this month is to make sure and chit those potatoes if you haven't already started. Chitting the potatoes is rather simple. You have your seed potatoes, you take an egg carton, you put the potatoes in the egg carton, and you leave it in a somewhat warm, not direct sun, but sunny area, and then they will start to chit. They will start to chit. I'm sure there's much more to get done in the garden than I have listed today, but that's just the start. As I go on month by month, year by year, my list will become a little more complete, and hopefully I can show you more and more examples of doing that throughout the time. I want to know what's going on in your garden as well. Please comment below. If you have questions, let me know as well, because I don't know everything, and when you guys have questions, it makes me go do some research and find something out, and then we all learn something. So I wanted to thank you for watching this short little video about what to do in March. I hope you have a wonderful start to your week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time.